Wel, diolch yn fawr gyfeillion. Diolch yn fawr i chi am eich croeso cynnes iawn. Diolch yn fawr, Patience. Thank you so much for that wonderful warm introduction. And I am going to repeat the welcome to Swansea. Croeso i Abertawe, i chi gyd. Mae'n hyfryd i weld cymaint ohonoch chi yma heddi, cymaint o wynebau cyfarwydd hefyd, ond hefyd ffrindiau newydd. It's great to see so many of you who've come here to Swansea today to be with us. And what a fantastic location this is, isn't it? A truly modern university campus here on the waterside. Part of a university which is all about access and providing the communities it serves with opportunities and developing the skills of young people and making sure they can play their part in the future of our nation. So my thanks to the university for their generosity in hosting this for us today. And that's what I'm here to talk to you about today, our future as a nation and our future as a party, and the role that I believe I can play as your leader and the First Minister of Wales. But I want to begin by paying tribute to Mark Drakeford. From Brexit, through COVID, to the cost of living crisis, Mark has led the nation, led the Welsh Government, led our party through some of the most difficult periods that we have faced in modern times. And he has done that with dignity and strength and integrity, and has inspired us all in the way that he has led. Mark has always put people first and has done everything he can to do the right thing for Wales. Diolch, Mark, i ti am dy arweinyddiaeth. Thank you for your leadership. Our country and our party owe you a huge debt of gratitude. Friends, a teenage Jeremy Miles would never have believed that I would be standing here before you today, launching a campaign to lead the party that I've been a proud member of since I joined as a 17-year-old schoolboy. My family are here today, and they've heard me say this before. Growing up as a young gay man in our loving working-class family in Pontarddulais, not that far away from where we are today, actually, I really struggled very often to see how I would fit into the world, a world which at that time, Margaret Thatcher and the Tories were deliberately promoting hatred against people like me in order to frighten people into voting for them. And this instilled in me the need to fight for the values that we all hold dear: equality and fairness. I was brought up to believe that public service can make a difference. There was something both inspiring and exciting to me in hearing my grandfather, who was a Labour councillor, talking about the campaigns he'd been part of to get a new doctor's surgery, a library, a Welsh medium primary alongside the English medium primary already in the village. I was never under any illusion but that it was very hard work. But I was enthused by that sense that we can change people's lives for the better through practical political action. We were brought up to believe that everybody is equal, whatever their background. I went to Ysgol Gyfun Ystalyfera, a Welsh medium comprehensive school just north of here, in the Swansea Valley, in the Neath constituency, which I'm proud to represent in the Senedd, in the 1980s, in the days when you had to travel quite long distances to make that choice. It was a school where the sons and daughters of miners from Cwm Gors, or a painter and decorator from Pontarddulais like me, mixed with the children of consultants and academics from the Gower. And with a mix like that, it's pretty obvious that in the 1980s, that not everybody was getting the same start in life. It was an incredibly tough time for lots of families and plenty of children in school. Their parents, often striking minors, were struggling visibly. and that left a deep mark on me. Now, I say these things not because I think these are in themselves good reasons for you to support me to become the leader of Welsh Labour. After all, everybody has their own story. But so that when I tell you about my commitment to equality and to raising the aspirations of all our young people to an inclusive society which celebrates the wonderful diversity of our communities, about the need for public services which deliver the best for people and an economy that offers everyone a chance at prosperity, you know that it is deeply felt, it's long-standing, and it's very personal. I'm standing to be Welsh Labour's next leader and Wales's first minister because I believe I can unite our party and take us forward into the next quarter century of devolution, and because I have the fresh ideas, the determination, and the support to shape Wales's future for the better. My upbringing shaped who I am today. It shaped my political views. It shaped how I see the world around us. Before I set out my vision for Wales, I want to say a few words about my own political beliefs. I'm proudly Welsh, and I'm proudly Labour. I put myself on the centre-left of our party, and I see myself in the Jim Griffiths tradition of Welsh Labour politics. A profound commitment to equality, coupled by a commitment for Wales in the Union of the UK through an ambitious devolution settlement. I believe the Welsh language is an asset to our nation and our communities, something which can unite us and which belongs to us all, whether we speak it or not. And I believe that Welsh Labour and the Welsh Government must continue to speak for the people and communities of all parts of Wales, north, south, west, and east. So, my vision for Wales. I want a Wales where we can all live well, where our next generation inherits prosperity and grows up in a just and inclusive country where we all feel at home. Our public services, our economy, and our wider society should give us all a fair chance to fulfill our potential and live the life we want to live. No one should be left behind. I'm deeply proud of how Welsh Labour has shaped Wales. We are a country of free and universal healthcare, education, and cultural institutions. A commitment to prosperity and solidarity and the stewardship of our natural resources can mean that we achieve both greater equality and more wealth to share. Wales should be a nation where young, brilliant people want to come to live, work, and raise families, and where citizens of all ages know they can live in dignity and respect. A country that looks outwards confidently, which celebrates the richness of its heritage and the diversity of its communities. The nation I want to lead is one where everyone has a chance to prosper. But the world is changing rapidly and right before our eyes. As Wales embarks on the next quarter century, the context is very different from the last, but our Welsh Labour values endure. The last 25 years have laid the foundation for our future. We found a confident sense of identity with a national parliament, and Welsh Labour has led the way in charting a progressive course. But over the years ahead, as the next Welsh Labour government builds on the foundations laid by its predecessors, new challenges will demand new approaches. We are still too poor a country. Our NHS is stretched to points uncomfortable for all of us who are committed to universal healthcare. Changes from an ageing society and from scientific advances mean that in order to protect it, as we absolutely must, as a publicly owned service free at the point of care, we must put it on a footing of stable funding and work with it and with our brilliant health workforce to help it adapt. We face a decline in the working age population, so we need to attract young people to live, work, and help us strengthen our economy across all of Wales. As trade unionists, we know that work has become more uncertain, even for those in a job. And the need for a highly skilled workforce has never been more urgent. On top of this, the constitutional future of the United Kingdom is increasingly fragile, threatened by the actions of a Tory UK government which is reckless about the future of the Union. The Welsh budget set by the UK government has fallen dramatically in real terms, and we can't realistically expect that to be reversed overnight with an incoming UK Labour government as it wrestles with a dreadful Tory economic inheritance. Against this backdrop, our aim should be nothing less than transformation as we start the next chapter in Wales' story. People rightly expect us to prioritise the fundamentals of everyday life that they rely upon today, and we will do so. But at the same time, we must prepare for the challenges and opportunities that we and future generations will face tomorrow. So how do we build on what our party has achieved in the first 25 years of devolution, meet these challenges head on, and turn the vision I've set out into reality? The first of my 6 pledges is about our economy. There is no route to the more compassionate country that we want to be, which does not pass through the more prosperous country that we need to be. My twin ambitions for the Welsh economy are to enhance our prosperity and to increase solidarity between each of us. It is only by mutual support, public and private, government and business, trade unions and employers, communities and individuals, that we can succeed together and ensure our nation is successful. Creating decent jobs, ending poverty, tackling the inequalities it causes, and truly sustainable economic growth are the greatest legacies that we can pass on to future generations. This is why unleashing the potential of the Welsh economy will be my top priority. But we must do this in a way which is truly sustainable, which helps create a Wales which is resilient in the face of the climate and nature emergencies that are upon us and which are changing our lives, and which helps us ensure that as we transition our economy to that more sustainable future, we do so in a way where the benefits and the burdens of doing that are fairly shared, where people can see the chances it offers as well as the changes it demands, a just transition. So a Welsh Labour government that I lead will deliver a green economic stimulus. This will target all Welsh Government capital and procurement spending alongside new funding models in partnership with local government to create quality, sustainable jobs and tackle the climate emergency. My second pledge is for education. Investment in education is the best economic policy and it's the best social justice policy, because a good education is the most precious asset that we can give anybody in today's world. Every child's capacity to aspire is equal. So we'll do all that we can to give each child the very best start in life, whatever their background, from nursery and early years right along their school journey, because it's the right thing to do and it's the best and biggest investment in the future of our country. Under my leadership, we will have unapologetically high expectations in education. So that's why I'm pledging to increase investment in education by raising into the future the percentage of the Welsh Government budget spent on schools. We'll drive up standards of literacy and numeracy as the best way to access the richness of our new curriculum and opportunities in life, and by driving down unnecessary workload, which I've done as Minister together with unions and local authorities, freeing up teachers and teaching assistants to focus on the needs of their learners. And we'll build on our strong commitment to further education, and the delivery of vocational qualifications and apprenticeships will match our commitment to academic excellence in higher education and research. As a minister, as you heard earlier, I brought in the most far-reaching reforms to post-16 education, putting my vision for a vibrant sector into law for the first time, with a commitment to lifelong learning, which in our party we all value so deeply. Put that commitment on the face of the legislation. And as Education Minister, I've been motivated by an absolute conviction that means should never be a bar to study. The Universal Primary Free School Meals Programme, the Schools Essentials Grant, the rules for cheaper school uniforms, the increase in educational maintenance allowance. And Wales, by the way, is the only nation in the United Kingdom to have done that. My third pledge relates to our party's most prized achievement, which is the National Health Service. A life free of the fear both of untreated illness and unmet care needs should be the most fundamental aim of a decent society. The pressures facing our health service are enormous. In order to make sure the NHS is there to care for future generations, we have a fundamental responsibility to help it withstand those pressures. So my key pledge in health is to cut NHS waiting times by establishing dedicated orthopaedic centres for knee and hip replacements to clear backlogs. We know this can be done and that it will alleviate pressures in other parts of the system, so we will deliver this. The NHS, like our other public services, faces huge funding pressures, but funding isn't the only support which the NHS needs. The best way to maintain a public NHS free at the point of care for the next 75 years, as we absolutely must, and as we have for the last 75 years, is to bring the same level of fresh thinking that led to its founding by our party in 1948, to transform the Welsh NHS into an acknowledged beacon of innovation, embedded in all it does, everywhere, always looking for the best way, the better way of doing things and sharing that right across Wales. And we will do this by working with and drawing on the insights of the healthcare workforce and patients. Doing this will help us attract new talent, new research excellence, and to give the people of Wales into the future the kind of pioneering healthcare which led to the founding of our most beloved institution. And the NHS can't exist without a strong social care system. So we will continue our work to establish a national care service. And we'll expedite the integration of social care and health, exploring innovative relationships between the NHS and local authorities to deliver this. My next two pledges are about ensuring Wales is a great place to live and work. A decent home in a flourishing, well-connected community is a fundamental expectation of modern life. So my fourth pledge is to ensure decent housing in our communities. And we will do this by expanding cooperative housing and tackling barriers to providing social homes, whether that's land availability or planning constraints. We will focus our efforts on unblocking these obstacles. And Wales needs a transport network which allows people to travel conveniently, affordably, and comfortably. One which supports both our climate change goals and our economic goals. We must build on the good work that we've done to date to deliver affordable public transport options and press ahead quickly with plans to meet the particular challenges we have in the northeast and the southeast of Wales. So my fifth pledge is to introduce fairer fares. This will mean simpler, fairer bus fares to encourage travel and sustain our public transport network across Wales, and do that as we re-regulate the bus network. My sixth and final pledge is about ensuring a stronger voice for the people of Wales. I will always stand up for Wales. I'm committed to strengthening the Senedd, devolving further powers both to and within Wales, and giving Welsh Labour members a bigger opportunity to share their ideas with us as a government. The journey of devolution is only part of the way through, my friends, and I'm absolutely committed to ensuring Wales has a stronger voice within the United Kingdom, a better, more powerful settlement with powers which give us the chance to better deliver for the people of Wales our vision for the outcomes they need and deserve, along with a fair funding mechanism which enables us to make that a reality. But as we look to the future of devolution, it is as important for us to argue for devolution of powers within Wales as to Wales. And Wales is a more complex nation to govern than a country of 3 million people needs to be. We'll make it easier for citizens and others to engage with the government. And we'll take forward reform of the Senedd so that the people of Wales get the stronger democracy they deserve. And we will work to ensure the Senedd reflects the diversity of modern Wales. So I've set out some ideas about what I want to do. There'll be more coming over the weeks ahead. I now want to turn to how we'll get that done. From day one, I'll bring a sense of urgency and purpose to taking forward my ideas. Some can be taken forward quickly, others will be delivered over the longer term. The current budget situation poses real limitations on new spending initiatives in the short term. All ministers across the Welsh Government have had to take decisions on spending over the next year which they would not want to take and which do not reflect our longer term preferences. But this can't limit our ambition nor detract from the need for radical and imaginative approaches. That's why we have to think afresh about how we run our government to respond to the challenges that we face. A more enterprising startup economy will need a government to match. In an era of extreme budget pressures, it's even more important that we improve the effectiveness and performance of government. A new strategy or a new piece of legislation is not always the answer to every problem. A relentless focus on delivery and effective implementation is absolutely crucial. To do this, we need a smart, enabling state, a government which leads confidently but which also listens. This is our vision for devolved government, and we'll make this a source of competitive advantage for Wales. We'll set bold goals and we'll empower others on the front line to help us meet them. We'll aim to ensure decision-making is faster and that dealing with the Welsh state is simpler. Our focus will be on outcomes more than inputs, and we'll want to be measured on our results, not our rhetoric. We'll encourage the best talent, the best behaviours, and the best ideas. We'll embrace the principles of openness and accountability and reflect this both in our policies and our practice, and we'll expect the same of others. Colleagues, 2024 is going to be a huge year for our party and for our country. With the UK general election on the horizon later this year and the election of a new Welsh Labour leader and First Minister, we're not only determining the future direction of our party, but that of our country too. A Labour victory in the next general election is crucial for that more positive future, because a UK Labour government led by Keir Starmer, working with our Welsh Labour government, can achieve so much more for Wales. Our public services need two Labour governments who want to invest in them. Our workers and our trade unions need two Labour governments committed to working with them in social partnership to improve working conditions and to support individuals to achieve their potential. I hope we'll see a good discussion about policy in the weeks ahead. Ideas are important, maybe particularly so in challenging times of the kind we live in today. But for me, public service is about people. As we look for imaginative solutions for the challenges that we face and to put ourselves in the best position to flourish into the future, the creativity, the practical experience, the deeply rooted values which are essential to that task are all there in the lives of people across Wales. In our schools, in our hospitals, in our universities, in our businesses, in our trade unions, in our third sector organisations, in all of Wales. That's why I'm hopeful for Wales's future, and I hope that you are too. Because if you are, I really believe that together we can help build that future. Diolch yn fawr iawn.